Hey y'all, welcome to Monday Teaching Philosophy, a little bit of wisdom from the classroom trenches. This starts, the school year is starting, even though we still in July, but I want to start preparing you for what's to come. This starts my 25th year in the classroom. This would have been 26. I took a year off, um, not a year, maybe 6 months. And so this starts 25, year 25. And so today I want to talk to you and start preparing you and try to see if I can get you to call you to action, teachers, especially new teachers. I want to call you to action. Today, I want to talk about your classroom is your kingdom. I know that sounds a little harsh and sound like, oh, I don't want to have a kingdom. But yes, your classroom is your kingdom. You are in charge of that room. Okay? If you just keep that in your mind as a philosophy, this classroom is my kingdom. I am in charge in this space. There's no negotiations. I am in charge. Every decision that is made is going to fall back on you. So if you allow the kids to be in charge and somebody get hurt, guess who is going to fall back on you? You can't say, oh, well, I let the kids do this and da 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 da. It's going to fall back on you. So your classroom is your kingdom. The students should know who is in charge before the year even begins. Now, this is what I want to call you to action to do. This is what I used to do when I was in the classroom. Now I teach music, so I'm a special area teacher. So I don't do it as much because then I would have to do it with 500 students. Whereas as a classroom teacher, you probably only have 23, 24, maybe even 30. Hopefully not 30, but if you have, what I do, I record a video message introducing myself to the students and parents, hi students. My name is Mr. Demby. This is da 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 da. In my classroom, these are my expectations. When you walk in, da 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 da. Parents, you are welcome to join your students for lunch, but you cannot come back to the classroom. Or on special days, we invite parents to the classroom. I make a video, at least try to make it like 2 minutes, no more than 2 minutes. Because even if it's more than 2 minutes, it'll be hard to send. But if it is, you can always upload it to YouTube and send the link to, that might even be better, to upload it to YouTube as not a private, but as an unlisted video, and send it to your parents. Post it on your social media or start a, social media group with your parents, or get your class dojo together, send it out. Start sending it out early. Let the children know these are my expectations when you are in my class. So when they get there, they already know, oh, Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so don't play. Authority isn't always yelling, and I'm telling myself this because I yell a lot sometimes. No, well, I think I've calmed down a lot. I used to, but you know, I sometimes it is easier to get the class under control by using your big voice. They automatically get under control. But then I'm learning yelling breeds something else that you don't want. It shows the children that the way to get what you want is anger. And anger is, if you show anger to get what you want, then the children feel like that's the way to get what I want. So I try not to yell as much anymore. But being in charge, that's just consistency, confidence, and clear expectations, the three C's. consistency, confidence, clear expectations. And so whenever those boundaries have been crossed, uh-uh, I'm not gonna negotiate with you. I'm not even gonna talk. You have crossed the boundary. Strike one. I'm not gonna, if they talk, you have crossed the boundary. You know the expectations. Strike one. The consequences for getting the strike three is da 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 da. So I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. You know, that's the thing I think that causes the most distress with students. When you go back and forth with a student, it puts them in a place of authority that they shouldn't be in. It makes them feel like they are the king of the kingdom or they are the queen of the kingdom because now they got you doing what they want you to do. By going back and forth, they say, oh, yeah. And kids know they can spot it right on. The teachers that don't have the 3 C's, confidence, consistency, and clear expectations, they can spot it. And any dent in that armor of yours, they can get to it and they know it. That's why you got to walk in, new teachers especially, knowing who you are. You are the king or queen of that kingdom. Your classroom is your kingdom. You know your expectations. Find out from the school, what are the expectations? What things are punishable that I need to send students to the office for? Like me, I don't send students to the office very often. I handle everything in class. Now, there have been students who have walked out of my room to avoid my in-class punishment, whatever it is. And I always go to the office later and tell them, I need that student back in my room. They cannot go anywhere else until they come back to my room. And that's the kind of support I need from my administrator, not take this student and make him do right. I want him to know that, or her to know that they are going to do what I have asked them to do. So I'm not going to push it off on the administrator and send them to the office. No, ma'am. If I've asked you to read or write as punishment or draw a picture as whatever, because most of my punishments are write an affirmation, draw a picture of yourself living the affirmations. So if I've asked you to do that and you storm out my room, I'm not going to say, good, go to the office. The principal can handle you. No, ma'am. After that class, or if I can get somebody to come watch that class and I can get down there to that office, I'm going to tell the principal, whatever you do, that student needs to come back to my room. I'm going to call the classroom teacher. Whatever you do, that student needs to come back to my room. If I am the classroom teacher, that's what I'm going to tell the principal. Nope, they can't do nothing else until they have done what I've asked them to do. And if you are not going to get them to come back and do what I've asked them to do, you got to find them another teacher. And I stand on that. Because in my room, in order for my room to work, students have to comply with the teacher. That's people always feel like, oh no, we don't want to make students comply. You have to. You have 28 students in your room. You have to. They have to comply with the teacher. Otherwise, it's mass chaos. And students do some crazy things sometimes. They are hitting each other, playing and horseplay and being silly, things that could get them hurt, jumping off a desk, jumping off a table. If you don't want the kids to comply, that's not going to be a safe environment for anyone. So those of you who fight against the word comply, maybe that word is too strong for you, but you have to. Your classroom has to become your kingdom where students know that if I don't do what Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so tells me to do, these are the these are the consequences. There has to be some consequences. And I know in a world that we live in now, consequences are like kryptonite to some people. Like, oh, you made him feel different than the group. He did something different than the group. She did something that she wasn't supposed to do. So she has to suffer those consequences. Some of them are natural, and some of them have to be enforced. So if that means while everybody else at lunch playing and talking, and I hate to give up my lunch because I like to be around adults and talk with adults. But if I have to give up my lunch and we go in the cafeteria and sit at the desk away from everybody and have lunch and learn where we write and then work, and now you write this, okay? Write what you do. Let's eat a little bit and write. Okay. If we have to have lunch and learn, that's what we would do. If during recess, if we have to have walk and read, we'll do that too. If I have to spend my time looking up while you walking and reading, come on, let's walk and read. What do that say? Uh-huh. If that's what I have to do, that's what we gonna do. I do not allow students to have their way in my room or in my presence. I tell the students, even if you are not in my room at the time, when you see me walking down this hallway, you know what I expect. You know my expectations. I expect to see the best. And at my school, the best is brave, engaged, safe, and on target. But me, for I started the best at my school, but I usually say brilliant, enterprising, savvy, and talented. Either way, I expect to see the best. I tell the children, you are the best, so act like the best. That's what I expect to see. Show me the best in the hallway. How do the best act in the hallway? Show me. Show me how the best walk in the classroom. And most of the time, if the whole class is messing up, that's what we do. We write our little best. How do the best look when they walk in the classroom? Let's write it. Get your white chart out. How do the best sound when they walk in the classroom? And that's what we're going to do. How do the best feel when they walk in the classroom? And then we go practice it again. Let's line back up like we walking into the classroom again, and let's practice it. What does it look like, sound like, feel like? Let's try. Let's try it again. So get your paper out. We got to write it again. Let's get our white chart. And that's what we do. That's, or so if it's one or two of them that's not doing what they're supposed to do, while the other class get started on I'm going to watch this video real quick or blah, blah, blah. And the other two, they going to be writing on the white chart. And then they got to practice it again while the class is doing something. Or most times, I do have a lot of free choice options in my room. Even as a classroom teacher, I have a lot of brain games, checkers, chess, word basketball, or making bracelets, something that They have to think to do, I don't let them just put anything on the bracelets. They have to make a pattern. Sometimes I make them color the pattern. What is your pattern going to look like? Blue, green, red in the middle, blue, what is your pattern? Then make the bracelet or something like that. I have a lot of free choice options in my class. And I do that so that if there's ever a situation where two students are misbehaving and I don't want to punish the whole class, I can say, boys and girls, let's have free choice for a few minutes while I deal with such and such and such. And they go do their free choice. Most of the time they are well behaved, or I give them computer time on the computer, or we play a Look It or some kind of game we play on the computer where they are, if they have their Chromebooks. And so you got to have things like that. Start the year with some things like that, training students how to behave during free choice times so that when you need a break real quick, even just if you flustered, you done got angry, you need a break. Boys and girls, we gonna stop for a minute. We gonna go to free choice real quick. And I know I haven't gotten off a topic a little bit, but your classroom is still your kingdom. So you have to put things in place to help you so that when you need to do whatever it is you need to do, if you need to deal with a problem, you can get those other students. The other students don't have to suffer because you are dealing with a problem. And I think that's the worst part about having a classroom with a lot of issues. The students who are behaving always end up suffering because of one or two students. And so it takes a lot of planning to put free choice options together. Like even with word basketball, or if you have other things where they have to do some content piece before they take a shot, or do some content piece before they can move, or, whatever it is, you have to plan it so that every week you are going to be planning and putting new words in, or so whatever it is, it takes a little bit of front work for you to have that peace of mind later. So I'm just saying what you need to do. If I were your classroom teacher. Now, if you're a special area teacher, what you do is during open house, or meet the teacher, you go around and try to meet as many parents as possible. Hi, I'm the music teacher. When your students come in my room, they gonna have a good time if they do what the teacher tell them to do. We don't bang on instruments and stuff. We gonna learn to play instruments like grown up. We gonna be playing real songs. That's the kind of stuff I walk around and tell the parents. Hi, I'm Mr. Demby. I'm the music teacher. I'm gonna see your babies this year, and I hope we're gonna have a good time. Da, 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 da. I give my spiel, and I tell her, the parents that know me, I say, hey, how you doing, sugar? We done had, they know who Mr. Demby don't play. Y'all better go get it. And the brothers and sisters tell their younger brothers and sisters, hey, Mr. Demby don't play. Y'all better do. And so that's what you do. Now, teachers who are classroom teachers, make you a video. Find out who's in your class. Send out your class dojo or whatever tool that you use to send that video out to your parents. If you want to create a small social media grouping or something like that, you can create a private Facebook group just for your students and your parents, for your parents. And, send that video out there or send it out in the email. Use it, put it as a YouTube link, email them. Get in some kind of contact going with your parents before school starts, letting them know who you are, letting them see who you are, letting them see your expectations, telling them maybe something simple. Hey, practice this with your child before they come to school so that they will know how to put the glue stick back on. Practice this before they, you know what I'm saying? You can give them some quick tips, some things that are your, teachers have pet peeves. I always say release the peeves because, but anyway, whatever those things are that are going to annoy you, that's going to throw you off kilter because you are the kingdom, you are the king or queen of your castle and classroom, and your classroom is your kingdom. Start letting them know and start telling parents, hey, practice this with your student so that we won't have to waste valuable learning time doing da 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 da. And that's a way to set the expectation already. Those parents say, oh, she done gave us things we gotta practice, and she don't want this in her class. Things like that. Send some kind of contact out with your parents. When you have a new student, if you get a new student the day of, soon as you get their parent information, send that video. While you're at home, practice this because we need this. We don't want to waste valuable class time doing da 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 when you can do it at home. Thank you. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say. I think I probably talked way too long, but I hope this will help new teachers and incoming teachers who might have had, you know, maybe last year was one of those horrible years and you thinking about quitting teaching. Don't give up. Don't give up. You are needed. We need you. Those students need you. And if you can just make this small tweak and remember in your mind that the classroom is your kingdom and authority doesn't have to be yelling. Authority is the three C's: consistency. What else I said? Confidence and clear expectations. Say it. Consistency, confidence, clear expectations. All right, y'all. And remember, where the spirit of learning is, there is liberty. Y'all have a good school year.